Okay, so I did not want to forget how Sean made this. You love our never-ending laundry piles in the background.
Never ending.
Never ending. And so we just came in from the garden tying up tomatoes until it was dark. We just couldn't do it anymore. And Sean made the most wonderful dinner tonight. The chicken thighs were amazing. And I asked him what he did with them. Oh my gosh, do I have a bug from the garden? Can you check me?
I don't see it.
Oh my gosh. Is he crazy? Okay, so how did you make it?
All right, I took a bowl and I put farm dust.
Farm dust is like a blend of seasonings we get from one of our local groceries. I'll have to double check the ingredients on it, but anyhow, it's a lot of everything, and it's very good. We use it on a lot of stuff.
It just makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, instead of having to have like a whole bunch of different seasonings.
Put the farm dust in the bowl, and then I cut a lemon in half and squeeze the juice in there. And then I
talk nice and loud so we can hear you over Blue's Clues.
And then I took some Dijon mustard and I put that in there. And then some honey. Squirted a bunch of honey in there. I whisked it all up. And I dumped it on all the chicken thighs and I turned them over and back and forth. I put them in the fridge for about an hour to marinate. And then I stuck them in the oven.
Okay. So this is so easy, and it was so good. So you can use different seasonings. I know. Can you grab the farm dust so I can read what's on it? Anyhow, welcome to my laundry pile. So it's honey, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and farm dust. And Sean is like, well, he's developed his cooking skills since we were married. But just to illustrate how far he has come and how proud of him I am, when we got married, Sean had this beautiful stainless steel kitchen that he had redone in his grandmother's house. And it was never used.
Never used.
Like, so I asked him, have you ever used this kitchen? And what did you say? You used it for what?
I used it to heat up my insoles before I stuck them in my boot. And I molded it to my foot. That was it.
That was it. The only time he ever turned the oven on was to heat up the inner soles of his boots. And so when we first went on our first date, there was like no food. Like it was, or the first time he came to the house, actually, there was no food. There were like some old stale pretzels in the cabinet, right? Like it was nothing. So for him to go from that to making beautiful fresh milled flour muffins and the most amazing chicken thighs. Okay, and let me just show you what farm dust is. So this is the farm dust we used. This one's with Himalayan salt. So it has, let's see if I can read. All natural Himalayan salt, dried onion and garlic. So you can do onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, fennel, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, savory, sage, oregano, and basil. So good. We use it all the time.
Yeah, awesome.
It's really great. And so we'll use that on like roasted potatoes, on chicken pretty frequently. We use it on all different things. But he did that with honey, Dijon mustard, and lemon juice. And I'm telling you, they were so good. What do we bake them at?
425.
Do you remember how long?
35 minutes. 425
for 35 minutes. So moist, so good, so flavorful, nothing artificial. I love it. So anyhow, just figured if you are looking for great recipes, and they had plenty of juice to like drizzle over some vegetables, this was a really good, clean, delicious, filling meal.
And easy.
And it was so easy. Like, we just don't even have time to prep sometimes lately, or fold our laundry. We feel like we're never stopped folding laundry. It just keeps on coming. But anyhow, if you're looking for a good meal, chicken with that sauce, so good and easy. I love it when they have these recipes that have like really random ingredients that you're like, oh, well, I don't have any of that, and I'm not going to the store for it. So, But this was pretty easy. And so, I mean, you might have like your other seasoning blend that works for you, but for us, we use the farm dust. You could definitely just kind of make your own, and it worked out great. So, just a little tip from Full and Family Farm. I'll be showing you our gardens soon. I can't get over how much they are bursting, and we started them late. Like for us, I should say we started them late for us. But I do feel really accomplished that although the gardens are still kind of messy and we still have things that we need to do, it's always a work in progress. That
We just had to get things in the ground.
we just had to get in, what we could into the ground. When we had like a bed ready, we just planted it. And it was definitely a Mod Podge, like do it whenever you could year, like tie up a tomato plant today and, do another one tomorrow and do a little bit at a time. But I love that our garden this year is entirely seeds that were planted either by the kids. Almost everything was planted by the kids.
Or
direct seeded into the ground, or overseeded from like last year's heirloom seeds that popped up. Like all of our basil and all of our marigolds are all from heirloom seeds that we just kind of found growing in our garden, and we transplanted them. And so everything that you'll see in that video was all planted by our children, or like almost all of it by our children, or just kind of thrown into the ground in seed. So we didn't buy any starts from like an outside store. So everything is 100% organic heirloom varieties from seed. And so that was kind of an accomplishment, because sometimes we would kind of fall back on, nothing against this, like it works great if you need to plant starts. We would often get plant starts, and plant them, but we just didn't have the money to do that this year, and so we didn't have ever as much luck planting them for seed, or at least we didn't have the confidence to know that we could do our whole garden from that. And it just feels so good when you look out there and you see that all of it was started from us. And anyhow, I'll be doing a video soon. I get very happy and excited when my garden starts to bloom. How do I get when I...
Very excited. You love it.
I do love it. I mean, I feel like a little kid again when I walk through the garden. I just feel like I love watching things grow, and knowing that we participated with God with that, and it makes you feel so good when you're able to steward it well.
And all the compost and mulch
This is his thing. He loves that he did all the compost and mulch. This is Sean's passion. We have a saying in our house. I used to say to him, love me the way you love your compost, because he would go out and he'd be like, just look at it, run your fingers through it, feel it, do you see how good it feels? Just look at that. And I'm like, look at me that way. He does look at me that way, but he just he gets so excited when he's got his hands in the dirt and compost and smelly, stinky things. And he does that part and builds the soil. And I just stick the seeds in the ground and dream. And honestly, Sean does most of the backbreaking work. And so somehow we make it work. And it all works together. And we always have areas of the garden that just get out of control, whenever that we just can't keep up with. And I'm sure that will happen again this year, but as long as you're getting food, it's okay if your garden does not look like something out of a magazine. Every year it improves a little bit more. Our garden still has
the soil gets better every year.
Yes, and so be patient with yourself if you're a beginning gardener. I mean, our garden still has piles of cardboard and